Good afternoon. And allow me to please welcome you to our 2017 NJIT Board of Overseers Excellence in Research Award ceremony. I am Joel Bloom, and I have the pleasure of serving as the president of NJIT. I also want to welcome the viewers who are joining us via the internet, and a video of today's ceremony will also be available at the NJIT website. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge members of the NJIT Board of Overseers who are here. I'm going to do this by viewing because I don't have the list in front of me. So there's Phil Rinaldi over there. We're going to say hello to Phil in a little while. Greg Souter is there. Greg, how are you doing? Don Sebastian is to his left. John Cecils is our outstanding chair of the Board of Overseers. Where do I see Ed Schmeltz back there. Thank you, Ed. Norma Clayton-Thomas. Hello, Norma. Thank you. And who am I leaving out? I'm sure somewhere. Steve Callip. No, he's not back there. Oh, Steve Saperstein I see back there. Thank you. If you keep on pointing and I don't see that. Oh, I can't see that. I got to point. So that's our Board of Overseers. Thank you very much. We will now identify some of the past recipients who have been did outstanding work as well, and have been the distinguished past recipients of the Overseers in Excellent Research Prize. When I announce your name, please stand. I see Cam Surkoff. Cam. Thank you, Cam. 2009, David Rothenberg. I saw David there. Thank you, David. 2010. Chaim Grable. Where's Chaim? He won in 2011. Hi, Chaim. These are all outstanding professors here. Reggie Farrow. Reggie in 212, please, Reggie. To his right is Sam Mitchell. Sam, please, in 2014. I saw Haiwen Wang. There you are, Haiwen, 2015. And our dear friend Raj Dave last year in 2016. So applause, please. Thank you. I also see Michael Jaffe there. In 2013, Michael won the Overseers Excellent in Research Lifetime Achievement Award and the 2017 Overseer College Research Award. So thank you. Is Martina Decker here? There's Martina Decker. Martina Decker is the Research Award recipient for the College of Architecture and Design. Thank you, Martina. And that takes care of our recipients of awards. Given the high quality and scope of research conducted at our university, a little over $140 million last year in research expenditures, it is a challenge to choose just one individual for the annual recognition established a decade ago by our Board of Overseers. This difficult task falls to a dedicated committee to go through all of the materials of all of the candidates. Allow me please to recognize members of that committee. Our outstanding Provost and Executive Vice President, Dr. Fadi Deek. Thank you, Fadi. Well, you can applaud for Fadi if you'd like. Our Vice President for Research, Senior Executive Vice President for Research, Atam Dewan. Atam, please. Don Sebastian, our President, Chief Executive Officer of the New Jersey Innovation Institute. There is Donald. One of the initiators of this prize is here with us as well, our actually Chair Emeritus of the Overseers, Phil Rinaldi. And sitting to his left, as I mentioned earlier, is Greg Souter. So thank you to the committee for the excellent work. Thank you all. So we also want to recognize the accomplishment of a faculty member whose career is emblematic of the spirit of innovation embraced by our university. As such, we'll be honoring Dr. Yehoshua Perl, professor in the Department of Computer Science, with the Overseer Excellent in Research Lifetime Achievement Award. Yehoshua first joined NJIT in 1985. He has authored more than 125 papers for international journals and conferences, and he previously received both the Overseers College Research Award for the Yingwu College of Computing and the Holland J. Perlis Research Award. Congratulations to Professor Perl. Unfortunately, Professor Perl could not be with us today. It is now my pleasure to tell you that for 2017, the NJIT Overseers in Excellence Research Prize and Medal is being awarded to Dr. Tara Alvarez, Professor of Biomedical Engineering. And as the chair likes to tell me, Brian Pfister, probably the best academic department in the Newark College of Engineering. I didn't see the dean here, so I feel very honored in saying that. Tara has been a pioneer in examining the link between vision therapy and the brain. She's currently working with 5 major children's hospitals to establish new clinical standards and methods of treatment for brain injury patients with vision disorder, especially children who have suffered concussions. The recognition bestowed upon Professor Alvarez today is a result of her unique talents and deep commitment to cooperative, interdisciplinary efforts among colleagues in academia and industry, which are leading to breakthroughs that greatly improve the quality of life for many. The improvement of quality of life is clearly a hallmark of this great university. We will shortly learn more about Tara's extraordinary accomplishments. Before I do so, we do so, please join me in welcoming Dr. Atam Dewan, Senior Vice President for Research. Atam, please.
Thank you very much, President Blue. This year, it is my honor to participate in recognizing 2 NJIT researchers for their very significant achievements in fields which, while quite different in specific focus, have a critical common link. Professor Perl and Professor Alvarez have both worked to advance knowledge and innovation with a clear potential to protect and improve our physical well-being. Today, the Overseers Excellence in Research Lifetime Achievement Award is conferred upon Professor Yehoshua Perl. This honor adds to the many accolades he has received in the course of a long and distinguished career in computer science, a career that includes more than 30 years as a member of the NJIT academic community. In addition to the honors mentioned by President Bloom, Professor Perl was named a Fellow of the American College of Medical Informatics in 2011, a recognition affirming the preeminence he has achieved among his peers in this field. In a sense, the challenge that Professor Perl has taken on over the course of his academic career is at the intersection of the information science, computer science, and healthcare. With major support that includes funding from the National Institutes of Standards and Technology and the National Library of Medicine, he is working to optimize the acquisition, storage, retrieval, and the use of information in health and biomedicine. His efforts to achieve consistent usability for the vast databases of biomedical terminology have vital implications for progress in research and the application of information needed to ensure that the therapeutic care we received as individuals is as current, effective, and as much as possible. Unfortunately, the circumstances prevent Professor Perl from being here with us today. However, the video we will now see presents more about his work for which he is being honored.
When I came to NJIT, Dr. Perl practically adopted me in the first week. We are good friends and we've been working together very closely for 29 years now. Dr. Perl got his degree at the Weizmann Institute, which is the best university in Israel.
At first, he was a theoretician focused on algorithm development and algorithm analysis.
And actually became quite famous as an algorithm researcher already at that time. Dr. Perl was the driving force behind the creation of the College of Computing.
Dr. Perl is certainly one of the most well-known research scientists in the biomedical ontology research area.
We like to characterize ontology as being middleware, helping other software do its work better. We need to somehow give the computer medical knowledge. Medical ontologies are the means for doing that.
It's natural that you find some errors. What Dr. Perl has done is he has developed methods that either find the errors or at least indicate suspicious areas in the medical ontology so that the human expert can check that out better. People are more and more reluctant to argue with a computer. When the computer says something, it's assumed to be correct. So Dr. Perl's research is attempting to really make the underlying knowledge in the computer system correct.
I think the field has advanced due to his many contributions. I would like to characterize him as theory meets practice.
Dr. Perl wanted to do something for people, and I think this has been a very strong motivator for him.
Dr. Perl is a very dedicated researcher. Looking in the dictionary under persistence, you might see a picture of Dr. Perl.
It wasn't unusual to get phone calls from him at about 11:30 at night or even sometimes after midnight wanting to discuss the research that we had been working on earlier in the day. In terms of Dr. Perl's pursuit for the truth in research, I mean, that's the definition of what he's doing.
In a discussion with him, the question is not, am I right or are you right, but do you have the truth or do I have the truth?
A major source of pride for Dr. Perl is his academic legacy. He has PhD students who are now themselves professors.
He's really the type of person who wants to help you achieve what he thinks you can achieve.
Anybody who has the luck of being his friend is really in a good position. I have had this luck for 29 years.
I've always viewed him as a mentor, and I still seek out his advice and knowledge and wisdom to this day and hopefully for many, many years to come. He's world-renowned, and again, this is something that's well-deserved, and I congratulate him on this honor.
I am extremely happy that Dr. Perl got this lifetime award. He absolutely, totally deserves this.
At this time, I call upon Professor Christian Barcia, a chair of the Department of Computer Science, to the podium. On behalf of President Bloom, the Excellence in Research Committee, and the entire Board of Overseers, the Excellence in Research Lifetime Achievement Award is hereby awarded to Professor Yehoshua Perl in recognition of his accomplishment over a long and distinguished career. In his absence today, Professor Christian Barcia will accept the award on behalf of Professor Perl.
Thank you very much, Atam. And I was asked to have a short acceptance speech I'm usually speaking freely, but this time, given the distinguished audience, I wrote something down. So I'm very honored to be here and accept this award on behalf of Professor Perl, who unfortunately could not be here tonight. This award is a well-deserved recognition of his lifetime achievement, and his most important achievement is the creation of a nationally recognized research program on biomedical informatics. And let me give you just a simple example of the reputation that Professor Perl has. On his latest NIH grant, a very famous professor from Stanford is a subcontractor to NJIT, to Dr. Perl. So that's quite impressive. You may wonder, why is his research so important? The movie kind of clarified that, but let me give you a very simple answer, and the answer is healthcare. Because medical terminologies are used everywhere in the healthcare system, and the more we move towards electronic medical records and computer systems that deal with healthcare, the more we need to make sure that these medical terminologies are correct. Because if they are not, it could lead to death, to suffering, to much trouble for all of us. So what Dr. Perl achieved was to find these errors through computer science methods, specifically structural analysis and knowledge representation. So this research, funded mostly by NIH, has a very powerful impact. It saves lives. Professor Perl has spent more than 2 decades leading a larger group of faculty, postdocs, and graduate students to build this program. During this time, he has shown tremendous leadership, creativity, and persistence. He never got distracted, and he never got discouraged in the face of many adversities that we face as researchers. And let me tell you an anecdote related to this. So several years ago, Professor Perl gave a talk on how to get external funding from NIH, from NSF, and so on. And his main point was, you have to be persistent. At that time, I was probably quite lucky in my funding, and I figured, it's not that hard to get funding, you know. And guess what? In the next 2 years, I had probably 10 to 12 proposals rejected one after the other. And then I remember Dr. Perl's advice: be persistent, work harder, improve your things, try again, and you will be successful. And indeed, I was successful after that, but he is a wise man. And for many years, he has been a leader of the computer science department, and much of the success of the computer science department is due to him. And with this, I'd like to thank you again, and thanks Dr. Perl for all his contributions. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. And once again, we extend our warmest congratulations to Professor Perl. It's now my honor to introduce a video highlighting the work of Professor Tara L. Alvarez. The poet Diane Ackerman has written that our eyes are the great monopolist of our senses. This is indeed true. The greatest measure of the information we acquire about the world around us is visual. And Professor Alvarez joined the NJIT faculty uniquely prepared to increase our basic understanding of vision and to help develop better therapies for illness and injury. On the path to this scientific frontier of perception, Professor Alvarez completed an undergraduate degree in electrical engineering and master's and PhD degrees in biomedical engineering at Rutgers University. Upon coming to NJIT in 2001 as a member of the newly founded Department of Biomedical Engineering, she had the opportunity to play a formative role in building a new specialized research facility, the Vision and Neural Engineering Laboratory. Recognition of her research at NJIT has included a 2005 National Science Foundation Career Award, an honor accorded to our nation's most promising young scientists. In 2016, She received Newark College of Engineering Overseers College Research Award. Today, as director of the Vision and Neural Engineering Laboratory, Professor Alvarez is working with colleagues at NJIT and other institutions to increase essential knowledge and develop therapeutic strategies for conditions that include conversion insufficiency. Now, a primary focus of her research, conversion insufficiency, is an eye movement coordination problem that causes those afflicted to experience double or blurred vision, to be visually fatigued within a few minutes, and to struggle with sustained near vision. The impact of conversion insufficiency on cognition and learning can be severe, particularly for children. A recent major research grant from the National Institutes of Health will enable Professor Alvarez and her team to investigate the mysteries of this condition, including ways to improve therapy in a study that is first of its kind with respect to the number of participants and its scope. Professor Alvarez's work also has significant implications for greater understanding and treatment of vision dysfunction followed by the brain injury. Many studies show that 25 to 40% of the civilian and up to 50% of military traumatic brain injury patients have similar symptoms of conversion insufficiency. From the time she joined the NJIT community, Professor Alvarez has also been a dedicated educator. She is the director of our undergraduate program in biomedical engineering and actively engages undergraduate and graduate students in her research. She has been enthusiastically involved in NJIT's pre-college programs for elementary and high school students with a special interest in encouraging young women to pursue STEM careers. This video will now present more about Professor Alvarez's leading-edge research.
My name is Tara Alvarez. I'm a professor with the Department of Biomedical Engineering, and I'm the director of the Biomedical Undergraduate Program, as well as director of the Vision and Neural Engineering Laboratory. While most of us completely take it for granted, it's our visual system that gives our brain over 75% of our input information. We're studying convergence insufficiency, which is present in 12 to 24 million people in the US alone. After concussion, 1 out of 2 children have convergence insufficiency. And this will have a negative impact on how people read, use computers, or work on smartphones or tablets. Now, the good news is it is a very treatable condition. And if you do vision therapy, your symptoms can be remediated for at least a year after therapy, which Dr. Scheinman, my primary clinical collaborator, and his colleagues have shown. The challenge is these therapies have not evolved much since the 70s. And while they're very good, they're incredibly boring. We hope to address that by creating virtual reality games that are going to be done correctly because of the equipment, and they'll be fun so people want to do them. Only recently have we had the technology to really be able to do this in a meaningful way that's cost effective. If you want to go into that area, you need to do it with people who really know what they're doing. And I'm working with Eric Nersessian, who's the lead gaming designer, and Jessica Ross, who's the leading artist. And collectively, with biomedical engineers, specifically Chang Yaramato and John Vito D'Antonio Bertinoli, we are collectively coming up with a game that is fun while still being therapeutic, and the methods are rooted in science and clinical research. In terms of the major milestones of my career, I was able to build a one-of-a-kind instrument that studies eye movements and accommodation simultaneously and dynamically in a system that has no moving parts. Moving forward, we're now taking that one-of-a-kind instrument and replicating it in many of the children's hospitals across the US. Through my NSF grants and working with a lot of students, both undergraduate and graduate, we have taken an instrument that takes up about half of a room, translating that onto something that could be run off of a laptop and a head-mounted display. One of the purposes of my lab is to use sophisticated instrumentation, which includes brain scanning, so we can really understand the basic science of what's going on in the brain. In addition, we're also looking towards products such as virtual reality headsets with a portable laptop that's going to look at specific types of eye movements that will be able to assess problems. And we'll look at only the eye movements in a portable space, such as an athletic field or a battlefield, but those measurements will be grounded in science that uses much more expensive brain imaging technology. One of the key benefits of virtual reality is we can now start getting into personalized medicine in terms of therapy. This technology is going to be able to break us of that one-size-fits-all mentality. What we're hoping to do long-term is to use the eye tracking to assess what that person's visual system is and create a therapy that's designed for that person. While I've accumulated a wealth of scientific knowledge, and that's very important in terms of our growth as a society, if you really want to make an impact, you've got to learn how to translate that science out of the journal papers and out of the lab into society and make your knowledge something that's going to have an impact. If you really, really work hard and have a passion for what you love, as long as you are persistent and you don't listen to negative thoughts, you can make your dreams and your passions come true. And not because I say so, but because I'm doing it.
Very impressive indeed. Now it's my privilege to introduce John Seychelles, a 1959 NJIT alumnus and chairman of the Board of Overseers. Shortly, John will be joined by President Bloom to present the 2017 NJIT Overseers Excellence in Research Medal to Professor Alvarez. John.
Thank you, Tom. It is indeed, again, a great privilege to be here and participate in the presentation of the Overseers Excellence in Research Award. This year, in recognition of what Professor Tara Alvarez has accomplished that we saw on the video, is just a great part of your notable career. The work of NJIT faculty members like Professor Alvarez, is both impressive and inspiring. It is impressive in placing NJIT in the foremost rank of Polytech universities for research that spans virtually every scientific and technological frontier. In the course of bestowing the Overseers Excellence in Research Medal over 10 years, we have recognized extraordinary creativity, imagination, and innovation in looking outward to distant reaches of the space, of the solar system, and into the subatomic heart of matter. Professor Alvarez's achievements and adding to our understanding of vision are also inspiring. They clearly communicate the potential of science to improve the quality of life and demonstrate that if we channel the power of science in the right direction, we can bring about change that benefits us as individuals in very profound ways. Her commitment to fostering the talents of her students inspires confidence that these young men and women will achieve themselves great beneficial breakthroughs in the decades ahead. President Bloom, please, may you come forward and help me present this award to Professor Alvarez.
So I'm going to give this with my daughter, Ari. First off, I deeply, deeply appreciate this honor. And even more importantly, I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to say thanks to my mentors, my current collaborators, and especially my family. My research career started in 1994, where I met my PhD advisor, Dr. John Semlow. And what I really admire about John Semlow is not only is he a fantastic scientist, he also really loves life and truly enjoys being both a scientist as well as a musician and many other things. Then in 2001, I met Dr. David Crystal and Dr. Stanley Reisman, who started the Biomedical Engineering Department, and they really gave me an opportunity to start a lab. And I clearly remember Dave opening the door to the 4th floor of a Colton lab, and it basically had some desks and chairs, and that's where the Vision and Neural Engineering Laboratory was born. Moving forward, in 2002, John Semlow introduced me to Dr. Bharat Biswal, who is one of my primary mentors, and he has taught me everything I know about imaging. In a word to describe Dr. Bharat Biswal's intelligence, I would say it is absolutely amazing. He has started a whole field called resting state connectivity, and I absolutely love talking to him about imaging. Since then, I actually got the opportunity to meet Dr. Leon Esterwitz, who is my program officer for the NSF, and he truly taught me how to review grants. I truly, truly love my career, and one of the key reasons I chose NJIT is that it resonates so well with my own morals and values. First, it values education in addition to research, and that was very important to me when I was looking for a place to start my lab. Second, it also gives me the opportunity to create a research program that my kids can actually collaborate with me in. They are actually the beta testers for our video game that we're really learning how to address kids. And third, one of the things I love about NJIT is this interdisciplinary research. And you will see in a minute how many different colleges are involved in the work that we do in my lab. So for example, the next part of the talk that I'd like to really thank people for are the current collaborators in my lab. So about 5 years ago, I met Dr. Mitchell Scheinman. He is a dean of research at Salus University, and I actually approached him to learn more about clinical medicine. And when he came to visit my lab, he fell in love with it and said, I actually want you to be my mentor and teach me how to record eye movements. And we've been collaborators ever since. One of the key reasons he and I both love Convergence Insufficiency is that it's a great tool to study how the brain changes. In addition, Mitch also had convergence insufficiency as a child, and that's why he decided to dedicate his work to that particular area. Around this time, I also learned from Mitch that home therapy really was nowhere near as effective as office-based therapy. So having two children, Ari and Christian, and two nieces, Victoria and Christina, I know firsthand how easy it is to get kids to play video games. So what Mitch and I started talking about is, could we actually develop a game that could deliver vision therapy effectively? However, Mitch and I are not gamers. In fact, I'm awful at it, and Christian can attest to that. So what we decided to do is start seeking out people, and sometimes the stars just align. And I actually met John Vito, D'Antonio Bertinoli, when he was a freshman, and he was part of the inaugural class of BME ambassadors. And John is incredibly gifted. He actually just received the NJIT Presidential Award, and I can't think of a better person to receive it. He's going to be the CEO of our company, and he loves video games, and his ability to lead is phenomenal. And he does it by forming really great relationships. For example, we used to do lab meetings in the lab, and now he's changed it so that we all go to bubble tea on Fridays. So he's got this incredible gift. The next person I'd really like to thank is Chang Yaramoto, who will be receiving his doctorate. So it's going to be Dr. Yaramoto in a few weeks. Chang has never, in my history of knowing him, ever gotten flustered. And I really credit that to his work as an EMT and an NJIT RA. He just, no matter what the problem is, he just takes it in stride and comes up with really unique solutions. He's also not shy and always has a lot of things to say, and that leads to a lot of really great debates in the lab. Last year, I got the opportunity to meet Eric Nersessian, who is the director of the virtual reality lab here at NJIT, and just received his first Oculus grant. And Eric is absolutely outstanding, and I look forward to many, many years collaborating with him. And I do strongly encourage NJIT to find a tenure track assistant professorship for him. He is really outstanding. In addition, the newest member to our team is Jessica Ross, who's with the Department of Digital Design at Architecture. And she's the first designer/artist I've had the opportunity to work with. And she's just so inspiring. One of the things that she's credited to is, number one, coming up with the name of our company, Optimal Optics. And her goal is to make a child truly connect with this game. And my daughter Ari and her have had many sessions together, and the game will eventually have a little puppy in it named Ari. But Jessica is just so creative and so inspiring. It's truly a pleasure. In addition, there's two more people in my lab, Dr. Elio Santos, who is the key researcher on my NIH grant, and Henry Talasan, who finished his master's degree a few years ago, and we won't let him actually retire because he's so good at coding, so we keep asking him to come back and do more. One of the key things with convergence insufficiency is that if you have it, you're actually 3 times more likely to have ADHD. And about 3 years ago, we hired Dr. Xiaobo Li, whose expertise is in ADHD. So one of the things that we are currently doing and look forward to doing a lot more of in the future is to take her knowledge of ADHD and also integrate that into our game. And I look forward to many more research conversations over that. And then the last key piece to our project is working with some fabulous people in management and Judith Sheff at the New Jersey Institute of Innovation. Michael, Eric, and Judith were instrumental in helping us get an NSFI core, as well as helping us get funding from the New Jersey Health Foundation. And I'm very grateful for their input in how to take this knowledge out of our lab and actually translate it into something that could be impactful to society. So to circle back, one of the key things I love about our project is we are this multidisciplinary team. Chang and John are both alumni of the Honors College. Myself, Bharat, and Xiaobo are with the Newark College of Engineering. Eric is with the College of Computing Science. Jessica is with Architecture, and Eric is with and Michael is with the School of Management. So we really embody almost all of the different key elements of NJIT. And if you don't mind, I'd like to indulge in thanking my family, who I wouldn't be here without their support. So first and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge my sister, Tennille, my brother, Dave. They are truly, truly my best friends. They have shared every triumph and been there for all the tough times as well. I'd like to say thank you to my two nieces, Victoria, who is wise beyond your years, and Christina, who is so observant and honest. I'd also like to say thank you to a lot of my really good girlfriends. Chris and I go back to first grade. Kim and I go back to third. We adopted Nicole when we were in college, and the four of us are really, really close. I'd also like to say thank you to my second family, the Nobles. Mark and I were lab partners when we studied electrical engineering. His wife, Melissa, and I have been friends ever since, and their four kids, Jesse, Adam, Matthew, and Sam, were actually the voices in the first iteration of the game. Another family that is very important to me is the Anons, who is my next door neighbor. Nikhil, Anisha, Nimisha, and Anushka are like family to me. I also would like to thank Ophelia, who's been a huge mentor to me, and somebody who's very special that is also resonating very much with the principles and values I have that I've met just recently. Last, but certainly not least, I'd like to acknowledge my two kids. So Christian made me a mom, and he taught me how to have fun and how to be patient. So he also, as he gets older, I am in awe with how logical he is, and I know he's getting extremely uncomfortable. And he also has a great sarcastic personality, which I just really, really enjoy. To my daughter, Ariana, she teaches me compassion and empathy, and I learned so much from her. We also love art and lots of fancy teas. So from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate this award. And there's so many more people I would like to thank, but I would be up here for many, many hours. So I'll close on that and just thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Alvarez. Really, very inspiring. So please join me in a very appropriate final round of congratulations and applause for our honorees, Professor Yehoshua Perl and Professor Tara Alvarez. I would also like to thank all who have made today's ceremony a success, and I look forward to sharing this experience again in the future. There are many significant and exciting research initiatives in progress at NJIT, energized by our growing, very, very talented faculty. I know that their efforts will continue to yield the fundamental knowledge and the real-world applications that merit this and many more honors bestowed by the Board of Overseers today and in the past years. This brings us to the conclusion of our formal program. A reception has been prepared in the honor of Professor Perl and Professor Alvarez, and at this time, I invite those in the audience on campus today to join us now in the University Club. Thank you so very much for joining us.